Hey, what's up, guys? So, welcome to another episode of Let's Try to Play. Today we're going to be trying to play Artanis. So, this is actually available for people who pre-ordered the digital or physical editions of Legacy of the Void. Now, you can say, like, why don't you just say pre-ordered Legacy of the Void? Well, there's, like, two different kind of systems they do. So, if you got the digital edition, I believe from Blizzard directly, you should have it unlocked automatically. But if you pre-ordered the retail deluxe ultimate $100 $80 whatever it costs edition, you have to contact Blizzard support directly and provide proof of purchase. Now what you can actually do is you could just like screen cap an Amazon purchase, and Amazon doesn't charge until they ship, and then just send them that and like, hey, I got it, and they're like, okay, we've unlocked it on your account, great, I'm gonna cancel my pre-order. So if you want early access and a free hero, basically, you can do that. I don't know how long that'll last. They might stop doing it from Amazon, but anyway. So he doesn't have any purchasable skins as of yet, obviously, because he's not really out yet. Some color variants. Now, interesting with this hero, as we wait for our game, interesting with this hero, remember when I did my video on Morales, and I said, like, oh god, she's pretty much dependent on others. It's almost like a requirement for her to play with a coordinated team. Artanis is kind of the opposite, and I do like that a lot. And he's actually useful for several maps, and here's one of them, so, well, potentially useful for this map. Lair of the Spider Queen and the Cursed Hollow, he can be very useful, and I'll get into that in a second. Pretty weird matchup here. We don't have... Oh, we do have one support, so that's not too bad. Oh, they got 2 support, and yeah. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the profile pictures and getting confused. No, they have 1 support. Okay, so 1 support and 2 tanks. So it's about matched up. Come on. Yeah, I believe that this is probably one of Artanis' better maps from... This is the first time I'm playing this map, but based on one of his abilities, I guess we can...
Get ready for battle!
It's probably going to be one of his better ones. Alright, so what the hell am I talking about? So, let's actually go to the bottom lane this time.
Acceptable.
Okay, so he has 3 abilities, and then his ultimate. And then he has this... passive ability, so this is Blade Dash. Seems pretty useful, right? So, ideally what you can do is you can attack enemies while staying at a safe distance from here, although when you glide in, it glides in, does 30 damage, and then it returns with 90. Now you can still get attacked, so bear that in mind, but it's harder for you to get hit by special abilities, but you will be hit by towers. So ideally what you can do is you can chase someone to, like, the enemy base and use this ability and, like, warp behind, because it does work by warping behind, like, various obstacles. You can go behind there, jump back, and then, like, get a kill and then be safe at the same time. It's quite nice. It could also be used for picking up doubloons and gems from Lair of the Spider Queen. Okay, so he also has Phase Prism, which can swap positions with an enemy. Like so. This could be very useful getting behind. Now, Artanis is really good for soloing, and we're actually going to see why right here, if this guy doesn't retreat. See how I just got that shield right there? Now he's going to leave. So, when Artanis drops below 50%, you gain a shield, and that is so useful. Artanis is really about deception and tricking people into thinking like, oh, I'm gonna die, oh no, woe is me, and then like, you're like, gotcha bitch, and then activate the shield, activate Twin Blades or something, and just wreck face. So I gotta pay more attention here. So Twin Blades reduce enemy attacks. This is really good. So basically what you have is this ability that charges you up and lets you, your next attack will be this really powerful strike. Well, not powerful, but very fast. Kind of poke at him. So we're gonna get Twin Blade because that will help when tanking. Although I should have gotten it earlier and paid attention better. Shield. Oh! Oh my god, that's so beautiful. Such disappointment. Oh my god, that was so perfect. So yeah, with a combination of Blade Dash and Twin Blades, you can do a lot of damage. You have to be very careful how you use them, because if you Blade Dash, you're only going to be using the Blade Dash ability. You're not going to be using any of your basic attacks, because that's what Twin Blades triggers on. So like if I do this, I'm not doing a basic attack. I'm only doing a basic attack after I get back. So when he goes to that point, he won't be doing that. You have to wait till he gets back to his original point to basic attack.
With honor.
So you have to time your abilities very carefully, more so than a lot of other heroes. He looks very easy to play as, and for the most part he is, but you have to, if you want to maximize his damage potential like most heroes, you have to be very careful how you use your abilities. Now, the biggest problem with Artanis is his escape. Like, you notice this right here, he's getting slowed down. I don't have a lot to maneuver with. Now, he has one ultimate ability. Actually, no, scratch that. I thought that was stun. That blinds. So, his ultimate ability doesn't actually stun. In fact, none of his abilities stun. They don't even slow. This is the only thing that you can use. And this is really, when you're switching places with enemies, that's really only useful if you have like a bunch of guys coming from behind you and you see a guy up ahead of you. You swap places with that guy, you gain a little bit of a foothold ahead if you're not mounted. Which, if you're mounted, that's kind of a waste. Because they're just slowing down. But yeah, Artanis is, he doesn't have a lot of escaping maneuvers. Now, thankfully, he's a really nice tank, so he can get away, usually. And with that shield's also pretty helpful. Keep in mind, Phase Prism also does damage, but it does not do damage to minions, only to heroes. Okay, so we can do increased range and speed of Blade Dash. I think we'll do that. Blade Dash can also be used like behind, you know, all kinds of obstacles, like right here, which is very useful for ganking. Like, they won't see you coming at all. Kill. And there we go. So we can do increased Blade Dash damage. That's what I usually do. Phase Prism slows enemies. You can do a build around Phase Prism. I would recommend doing that if you have a team of, like, you know, group of friends and like you're very well coordinated, because this can be very useful for throwing enemies into the direction of your team to just completely wreck them.
Looks like your foe beat you to it.
We're gonna go mostly for damage this game. We're good on tanking potential. Now, Suppression Pulse is pretty interesting, but Purified Beam is also interesting. These have unlimited range, too, so they're very useful for their Artanis' ultimate.
Well then, who's got the coin?
His ultimate can be utilized to either do not utilized, sorry. His ultimate can vary in the damage output, so if you do it right, you can do a ton of damage, but if you do it wrong, you can do almost no damage at all. And we'll get into that when we get the ultimate in a second here.
Reveal the way.
You also pull some pressure off some people with this. And that's a miss, and I might die.
Oh, that had to hurt.
Now, there's an ability you get later on that allows you to charge to your target when you have your Twin Blades Prime, which is so useful. It's one of his only, pretty much his only catch-up moves. I mean, you can count Blade Dash as that, but if that misses, you go backwards. You go backwards. You don't really go backwards. You go back to where you started. Yeah. So I can't really talk today.
We're on, boys! Aha! Let's liven up this place!
Now, in Cursed Hollow and Lair of the Spider Queen, you can interrupt people from channeling, turning in gems, or getting the hollow by just, like, dashing at them and poking them, and then dashing back, which is... Oh, that is so annoying, I imagine. I have not had that happen to me. Like, just imagine someone just very briefly attacking you, and then going right out of attacking range. A couple of heroes, of course, can pursue. Muradin, as you saw there, can jump over. And yeah, can jump over areas and chase after you very easily. We're gonna hold on to the Purifier for a second. Lol. Might not be a good idea to go over here. See? Stopped her right from doing that. Beautiful. Awesome.
Our path is clear.
Artanis is also pretty good, because being a tank, he's also pretty good at taking mercs. The shield can really help out. So do Twin Blades, and Blade Dash can also kind of help you get away. He's also good at taking out, fighting bosses, because when bosses do those area of effect damages, you can dash out very quickly, and then dash back in just after the bosses do that AoE stun damage effect. So you can kind of stay in the battle without, like, 'cause when you walk out of the battle, that takes a couple seconds longer. Dashing, not a problem if you time it right. You get a lot of damage output on a boss within a short period of time. We're actually going to use this now. So, this is the Purifier Beam. It doesn't do too much, right? Well, it can actually hit multiple targets. And look at that. Look how long that's lasting. Now, if they kind of shudder around the same place, they're going to get hit more. But if they constantly run away, they're not going to get hit. Now, you can upgrade it that when it gets a kill, it'll be able to cast again, which is awesome. But personally, I go for Nexus Blades, which deals 20% more. All attacks do 20%, or basic attacks, 20% more damage, and they slow the target for 1 second. Very good for hunting down enemies with Blade Dash. If you want to, like, you just need to chip out as much health as possible. And then when they finally think they're safe, getting across that that wall to their base, you just Blade Dash and you just ruin their day. It's great. You always want to use Warp Prison, even if you don't think it's going to be too beneficial into putting the enemy behind you, because it still does do damage, and you can upgrade it to do things like slowing and increase attack speed, which we didn't do, because Warp Blades are cool like that. Case in point.
Your fort's in ruin! Your enemy has it out for you!
Overall, Artanis is a much better hero to play with solo than Morales. Like, solo queue, he's probably one of the best heroes that you can pick. One-on-one fights, he's great. Okay, we're gonna get Twin Blade strikes 3 times, because that is really overkill. I don't want to die.
I think they've had enough! Reveal the way.
The doubloons area, he's not as useful in the Spider Queen place, because here, like, you don't have as many doubloons dropping. In the Spider Queen, there's, you know, gems dropping all the time, and that Blade Dash can really be useful.
A bold plunge.
And notice, like, the damage you can get off without even being hit sometimes. Obviously, if you do that in front of towers, you're gonna get messed up. You have to be very careful, though. It's so fast, though, that you're not gonna be hit too much. Like, I've dashed into, like, lines of towers plenty of times, like, where I've gotten targeted by 4 towers at once. You shouldn't lose more than half your health, depending on your level.
Kiss that fort goodbye!
As long as you're not going too deep in.
Main cannon! Fire!
But, you know, it's always risky. Although, it's the least risky way of killing the enemy, or one of the most effective and least risky ways of killing an enemy behind the fort. Because there are ways to do it, but you can get messed up, and a lot of these attacks don't do enough damage. So, like, you know, Rainer's penetrating shot might be able to hit. I believe that hits through walls, or is that? I think of another hero maybe.
destined.
But you know, they have limited cone. Like, look at the width on this thing. And this is when it's upgraded, it's even further. It's even faster to avoid damage, and it does even more damage when, you know, it's upgraded. Okay, blade charges you to charge. What? No, causes you to charge. Versus heroes, this could be useful, but that charge is really useful for getting targets and tracking them down. It's also potentially useful, like Phase Prism can be, to charge into an enemy ahead of you when there's a bunch of enemies behind you to get away. Again, nice little situation, very situational, but can be very effective as a tool in case you have you know, low mana or Phase Prism's on cooldown, because Twin Blades is the least costly. I'm actually glad we're going to be finishing this early, because Artanis, overall, there's not much I can say about him. I mean, I said like 13 minutes worth of stuff about him. Okay, here we go. Purify is perfect. Look at that. Look at that damage output. And we didn't kill a single person. Disappointing.
Reveal the way. There can be no doubt. Let us capture this mercenary camp.
Let's skip the treasure hunt. It's right there. Focus!
What's a good idea there?
The future.
Again, you really want to be careful on what you use, because you can miss out on kills. Like, what I should have done there is I should have Twin Bladed him, charged ahead, and then used Blade Dash, or even Phase Prism as well.
That one's not getting up.
We have withstood this challenge. You lack honor.
Or are they?
Mayhem.
Ah.
Hero slain. Looks like your enemies all paid up. Fire,
Should I
you
go help this
blackguards!
guy? No. Yep.
A good kill there.
You did good, John.
Again, many other heroes would have a problem, would have an issue, and they would hesitate, or players would hesitate. Yeah, oh god, that's not good. Players would hesitate more with other heroes when trying to get these clutch kills with almost no health, but Artanis' shield and his dash are very useful.
There can be no
And that
doubt.
Purifier
That's
King
enough.
can be
We don't be
extremely
working
useful
for free.
for targets that get really... He's really good for getting targets that are getting away. Just... one thing I need to mention, I know I've talked about voice acting in this game before.
Together, we are strong.
So, there's something weird going on with Blizzard's voice actors. I understand that some voice actors just don't go back to, like, don't reprise their roles,
They're all paid up.
but
Bah, who
it's just this
cares?
weird thing
Let's
with
get to
Blizzard
the
where,
fun
like, in
part.
StarCraft 2, in Utter Darkness, I'm pretty sure his VO, or VA, was the same guy from StarCraft 1, in Utter Darkness, but now this guy seems to be... So, like, there was, like, 2 voice actors for Artanis in StarCraft 2, and now, like, one of them, the non-original one, I think is doing this one, and then in the new expansion for Artanis, because Artanis is going to be a main character in that expansion, and then,
We don't be working
and then,
for
like,
free.
but in Utter
Untouchable.
Darkness and in StarCraft 1, they had the same voice actors, so I don't... Oh, shoot, I actually didn't... meant to get Forces of Will. Never mind. Okay. Paying too much attention to that, and it would be a lot easier if they just clearly listed in Heroes of the Storm specifically, because it's saying like in the StarCraft wiki that doesn't help me. because that's just for StarCraft. And again, that's like different voice actors. I want to know who's. I guess it's the one of the guys from StarCraft 2, but not. It's the guy from StarCraft 2, but not the original StarCraft 1 voice actor. I don't know. People are wondering why there's going to be a voice acting strike in video games. I can't imagine why. Maybe it's because voice actors don't get any credit and they're barely listed for anything.
I see.
Like, the only reason why I knew about Rexar's voice actor is because I understood the tone, and he is commonly used for Rexar. Steve Bloom, and I also follow him a lot, and he's famous. Like, he's a pretty well-known dude. Amon from The Legend of Korra and Spike from Cowboy Bebop, he is voice acting, when you think about it. And even Goku from Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. Yeah, he's like... Before they decided on who was dubbing the show, they chose, like, a random list of voice actors. And they're like, we don't know who's going to be dubbing the show, so, I mean, this is... So, we're just pick some random dudes. Yeah, you can, like, like Jennifer Hale, Troy Baker, Steve Bloom, you can understand, you know, like, who these guys are usually, but you don't know who, I don't know, the guy who voices Artanis is because they don't get proper credit. Anyway. That's when I died. Just once, actually, that was my first death. Nice. Oh, nice. No. Run. No. No, you're not gonna do it. Just run. Stop. Stop. What do you... No. Oh.
Let us capture this mercenary camp.
It was a short game. I was hoping it would, I was like, oh wow, we're gonna get like sub 20, and it's I'm gonna have everything I need done because it's so, the list I have about Artanis is so short.
There can be no doubt. Let us capture.
I will be doing a review or something on the expansion for Legacy of the expansion for StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. You know, I have pre-ordered it.
It's right there.
But the thing is, Fallout 4 is coming out that same day, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. So yeah, my mentality of how I play games is that I can't really play one genre for too long unless I'm like getting really addicted to it. Like MOBAs, I can usually binge play MOBAs for several hours. Unless I'm losing a million games. The problem is that, I don't know, like, StarCraft 2 and Fallout 4 are very different. Whereby some games, like, might have similarities and I can kind of play between them. Like, okay, this is an adrenaline-pumping action game, and so is this, but they're very different from each other. StarCraft 2, in the beginning, is very slow-paced in particular.
Never date.
It's like tutorial missions. So yeah, hopefully I will probably be doing a final impressions on StarCraft 2 and then a first impressions on Fallout 4. And if need be, I will be doing a rant video on the possible story content because Bethesda and StarCraft and Blizzard have pissed me off before in terms of making stories. So if anything, you'll get those videos. And that's pretty much it. That's Artanis for you. Pretty good hero overall. Highly recommend checking him out. Get him for free with the, do the Amazon promotion thing. Or, do the promotion thing through Amazon, and you won't be charged anything, and you'll get a free character. I don't know if he'll expire if you don't redeem a code, if you just cancel it, but... yeah, there you have it. Artanis. He'll be available sometime in November, I believe, when the game launches, or a week before, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.